Good morning. This is the morning message for February the 18th, 2026 here on Following Him, the Disciple Life. The passage we're going to begin our day with as part of February Love is Matthew 5, verses 46 through 48. We're just picking up where we left off yesterday. For if you love those who love you, what reward have you? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet your brethren only, what do you do more than others? Do not even the tax collectors do so? Therefore, you shall be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect. Jesus calls us to a higher standard. He references those, the tax collectors. These are the publicans, the publicani, that were collaborators with the Roman Empire, with the pagan oppressors of the Jewish people. And these men oftentimes are associated with, and sadly, rightly so, with covetousness and not doing right by their people and being traitors to the Jewish people and such. But Jesus here, he's making the point that, even worldly people, they have those they love. So you love somebody, but you're not doing any better than the worldly people. You're God's people. You are called to something higher. You claim to be a disciple of the Christ. You're God's people. You're called to something higher. There in verse 48 reminds us we're supposed to be doing our best to be an imitator of God, essentially. That verse 48 there, that's just another way of saying what's in Ephesians 5:1. Ephesians 5:1 talking about being imitators of God as dear children. Like a kid looks at their daddy and tries to be like daddy. Well, we look at God and we're trying to be like God in the ways that humans can be like God. And we are to seek completion. That's what being perfect is there. That's not about sinless flawlessness. I've seen at least one person on TikTok, and I'm sure there are others on all the platforms teaching this, try to abuse that verse and say that, well, become a Christian, you're just never going to sin again and you can't sin again. Well, you're not supposed to excuse sin, but you're still human. The reasons you sinned before, it's going to happen again, but that's for another video. Now, this verse here is talking about completion, like our Father in heaven is complete. And one of those things he does is he loves those who are enemies of him. Paul talks about that in Romans chapter 5. That when we were enemies of God, that Christ still died for us. So Christ calls us to the highest standard, not just a higher standard, but yes, a higher standard, but the highest standard with our love. Loving like God does. You have a great rest of the day. Lord willing, be with you here in a few hours for Wednesday Words, and Shalom.